West 27th Street. All right, we got it all in there. I got phone chargers. I got phones. If you need it, I got Samsung 9s. I got iPhone 10s. Come to the store. We got everything for y'all. Cowboy Wholesale / Raycon Global. RayconGlobal.com. Support the movement. We young. You know, we trying to take this entrepreneurship to the next level as young people that can live it, be turned up, live that kind of life, overcome it, and then start doing some serious business with some serious people. Support the movement, get involved. I got checks for everybody.
I'm sure there's so many people watching and seeing you and seeing that they could achieve those things too.
Yeah, let's get it. It's real possible, and just stay you. Don't switch it. Don't switch it up. Don't switch your language. Don't switch how you explain it. Just stay exactly how it is. Just find a team that can understand what you're saying, the way you're saying it, and how you creating it. You know, that's the only way it works. Because if you be yourself, whatever meeting you in, if you like coming in flip-flops and jeans or just a dirty white tee, if you got the ideas and the product and you got the knowledge, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So just know that. Just know that. Be you and take it. If they not giving it to you in the most positive way, go out there and take it.
Princess, are you and Brandy due around the same time?
She's not pregnant.
Oh. That's not nice, Charlamagne.
What?
You can't do that to people and make them feel like
she's not pregnant.
I thought that was the rumor.
Charlamagne, come on.
It was also a rumor that she was carrying my baby, and that's not true.
No.
Okay, she's carrying her own baby.
Right.
For asking if she's pregnant?
Please, for
You
me.
didn't
Well, I
ask her if she's
apologize,
pregnant. You
Brandy.
said, are they due around the same time?
Well, I apologize, Brandy, if
That's
you're not
a very
pregnant.
offensive thing to women when you say, when you have a baby due and they're not pregnant.
I haven't seen Brandy.
I'm
She never said she
ashamed.
was pregnant.
I'm ashamed.
Stop it,
I did
man.
that to somebody.
I saw that rumor this morning.
I actually like touched the stomach and was
Thought
like,
that
what did you do?
was friends.
Listen, I saw the rumor
Or
this
like if you
morning,
post a
man.
picture
It's right
and
there.
for some reason your
See?
split is falling a certain way, people are like, oh, she's pregnant.
Yeah, they've
Right.
been saying I've been pregnant for the past 3 years.
Right. And well, Ray J tried for a long time, so.
Well, he apologized, Brand. Okay?
I got love for you, Brandy. I love you, Brandy.
She don't like you.
I know she don't, but I got love for
But
Brandy.
here's the thing. Things over time, people get cool.
That's right.
And people do business. And people get money together.
That's right.
That's why I'm here.
Right.
I'm here to tie the knot and to bridge the gap between the negative, positive, and the money to get between the two.
Well, that's good. Charlamagne never apologizes, so I'm glad he
As I
apologized.
know.
I apologize sometimes.
But you hardly don't. So thank you.
My man.
Charlamagne is my
Absolutely.
friend.
You
It
gonna
hurt
tell
me.
Princess to apologize for telling her shut the fuck up? Posting this, I should post what you just text me?
Can't do that.
I don't apologize to nobody.
No, love to Ray J and Princess Love, man. It's the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Cent's protege, The Game, released the documentary, which became an instant platinum seller. However, as record sales were soaring, rumors circulated that these two artists, known for their beef with others, were now pointing their aim at each other.
You talking real greasy, you know? Somebody asked me where Game stood with G.U. He said across the street around the block.
He ain't lying, they got it. You know that?
Same thing with The Game.
I don't know who that guy is, to be honest. Shotty had to tell me that. That's a dude from my day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he came out, I was 8, nigga, the fuck? Nigga, how you coming for me like you got kids older than me, bro? Like, the nigga has a family to take care of. Like, what is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
like someone take his phone away.
The first 3 records he put out, I'm on them. West Side Story, How We Do, Hate It or Love It. Those are just 3 singles to date. So every record that he's selling is based on me being on this record with him.
I'm not going to say that he didn't help with the project, because he played a small part in the success of the documentary. But he did the things that he was supposed to do. We were all at camp.
What's up, man?
I mean, we here, man. It's the real New York City, man.
Tell him what you
know
running.
what I'm saying?
Tell him what you running.
New York Mines, right?
Tell him what you running.
New York is mine, man. What are you talking about? And we ain't wearing no gloves. They know us.
Straightway shit, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Yeah, we want to promote. Cause you on live right now. I see what's going on, man. Let's see what the fuck is up, man. It's Treyway shit, man. Treyway. See what that nigga is. Let's see that. What's up?
So Skittle 50 shit happening? You see Machine the Noir? Talk about that shit. Oh. Yeah, je m'appelle Shadi. Yeah. Parlez-vous français? Sound like this. Let's kill my shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah. You better watch out, man. Yeah. How you gonna say you want New York? You ain't hear it. Yeah, that's what he said. What he said again? How you gonna say you want New York? You ain't hear it, man. Come on, man. Yeah, you keep New York there. What's up, man? Translation, man. Come on, man. They got a home for real ones.
You're watching The Breakfast Club. Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ Envy is in Africa, and we got the world's most dangerous heavyweight boxing champion in here right now, my man Deontay Wilder. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, bro? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
I went to your last fight against Ortiz.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for you. So it was a very shaky situation in the crowd for a moment because everybody thought you was about to lose it, but then you came back and won. So congratulations.
Well, appreciate it, brother. I mean, it was a great fight. I definitely needed a defining win on my record.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had the short ends of the stick when it comes to boxing. I fought everybody. I fought the best of the best. I fought them out, and it's always seemed like I'm always getting to run around, somebody ducking me, or they're using PEDs to go around me. So, with Ortiz, it was like a big risk, small reward, but it was good for boxing. It was good for the heavyweight division, and I needed it. So, it was an epic fight, and in that fight, I showed what a true champion was.
Absolutely.
What it takes to be a true champion, the whole definition of it.
Were you ever scared to fight Ortiz, though? Because he did get test positive for, I think, PEDs a couple times?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, maybe you could have been in them this time, too. So did you ever have any, speculation? I don't know.
To be honest, it was in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But when you preparing for a fight, you really don't want to think about too much because you already got a lot of stuff going on anyway. Right. But it was in the back of my mind only for the fact that he said he was on blood pressure pills.
Mm-hmm.
And he only got on blood pressure pills because he was fighting me. It seems like because we never heard of it before. But the thing about blood pressure pills, anybody know about it? It also is a masking agent as well too. So you can take something and take blood pressure pills, and the blood pressure pills can cover whatever you take.
Oh.
So so it's like coverage. So you just never know, But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, when it came to that fight. I hired Bada. They did a great job with that. They test him, continuously throughout the training camp, and it came out to be what it was.
What advice would you give Triple G? Because he's fighting Canelo, and Canelo recently tested positive. Would you move forward with the fight if you was Triple G?
I mean, because I have a warrior mentality and the mindset, I'll still fight. Just to prove that no matter what you do, you're not going to defeat me.
No matter what drugs you take,
no matter what.
Potentially.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, no matter what, because I feel like I'm the best. I believe that. I strongly believe that. I'm very confident in what I do and what I say, and I try to prove to the world every bit of the word that I say I'm going to do, no matter what you take. With Ortiz, I was calling this man versus machine because of his past abusing, PEDs and stuff like that. So, but everybody's different. When it's in the boxing game, when you taking drugs and when you finna put some hands on somebody, you gotta remember the head is not meant to be hit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of guys get timid up that, because they feel like it'll make them do other, which it does. It depends on what they take, but it don't matter to me. I just want to get in there and fight and show the world that I'm the best in the world.
I feel like there was a couple of times you were supposed to come up here before, right? And it got rescheduled.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was gonna get rescheduled again, like you weren't supposed to be in town.
Yeah, some came because I was getting ready to head to London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a ringside analyst at the Parker Joshua fight this
fighter because people are so used to seeing like heavyweights being big and muscular and stuff like that. But my body is my body. I'm comfortable in my body, and you know, I possess something that can't be taught. You know what I mean?
It probably makes you move quicker too. It was
Exactly.
like
I get in so many different angles. I can get maneuver around so many different ways, and I'm very like flexible. You know, I can slip in the pocket, and people always talk about wow, but they never point out what I do right.
right.
You know what I mean?
You do yoga and stuff since you meditate.
I used to do a lot of yoga, but I do a lot of stretching exercises and stuff like that, and to make my body more flexible. And I mean, I can almost put my legs over my head. Actually,
We don't want to see that.
A lot of guys wish they could do that.
Yeah. So you know, I think being flexible plays a lot, especially in a combat sport. You know, you can be able to maneuver around different punches, and you can see various of combinations as well coming to you. You know, boxing is only mental. It's all mental. You know, just being able to pick your guy, pick him apart each round, study him each round. Everybody makes mistakes in fights. It's only how you exploit that mistake that he's doing. You know, you can break anybody down. All you gotta do is watch him and study him. For me, it's like calculation for me. I say I'm calculating my guy each and every time. Sometimes I lay off rounds or whatever because I'm getting the guy down. I'm studying him each and every time because it becomes a muscle memory in my head. I'm programming you in my head. So if you do that mistake again, then I'm automatically respond to it, you know. And sometimes it be like that, and that's just how my mind working there. And the things that I see, a lot of people don't see on the outside. It's easy. Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta. No, it's not that. Even when you listening to your corner, jab to the head, jab to the body, coming right. You trying to get me knocked the fuck out? That ain't. You know, I see what you see, but it's all about timing as well too. Because with Luis Ortiz, being that he was the most skillful heavyweight in the boxing. If you make a mistake, you can get punished. And that's the thing about softballs as well. If you make a mistake, you will get punished, and vice versa. So it makes it more challenging. Your mind have to think a little bit more. You have to break it down a little bit more, and that's why I love this sport so much.
Well, what do you say to people who say you're a great fighter but not a technically sound boxer?
Yeah, you know, my thing is when I look at that, I say some people say I do all the wrong things in boxing, which I can agree. I do all the wrong things in boxing, but the thing about it, I'm a winner. I win. I knock people out. When you got people you got some fighters that do all the right things.
Technically.
And exactly. And still lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's that old saying, if it's not broken, why fix it? You know, no, with me, I'm an unorthodox fighter. I'm very awkward. I'm fast. And I have...
It probably throws people off too because they anticipate, like when you watch what they're doing and you can study them and see what they're about to do, and then they can't really tell what you're about to do because you're not following the rules.
Exactly. You know, not following it, that's perfectly. You know, you've been studying boxing.
I love boxing.
Yeah, nice.
Y'all flirt with each other one more time.
You know, but yeah, the mask definitely, you know, reveals something like this is him. I'm revealing myself. This is the bronze bomber. You know what I'm saying? Yndks is no more here, and that's what the mask really indicating. So when I take it off, it ain't that dude that you know, the nice guy that like to laugh and goof around or whatever. Like I come here for one thing, and that's to knock you out and go back home. You know, but when you're dealing with another opponent, although he may have family and children and stuff like that, when I'm in that state of mind, like I really don't care about it. I'm just be honest.
You can't even think about it.
I don't care about it because he's trying to do the same thing to me. I'm trying to do to him. So you can only have so much feeling towards that man in there. But when I do what I'm supposed to do or what I have to do, then I come back into Deontay Wilder. That's when I'm able to show sportsmanship, to go over, make sure he's okay, you know, hug him or whatever. Because it's not personal for me in the ring. And I don't want none of these fighters to think it's personal because it may end that way. We may get into altercations and talking stuff. That's part of boxing. That's part of the selling it. But during the selling it, the thing about me, I don't fake it. I can't fake nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm acting and stuff. But this is not no game. This is real life for me.
Right.
You know, so I feel that way. But you know, if I definitely
The power that I have, man, it's easy to be able to do so. I thought I had one time, like I said, with speaker. And not all of them. I got a lot of love there. I got a lot of love there. It's just the few of them that makes it bad for everybody. It's like that one bad apple. Yeah. It kind of spoils it because a lot of people look at me like, you know, they talk about how I try to act like I'm Florida. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I got a lot of nice things, and then being in Alabama, I could easily like be out flossing, I can be out stunning on people. That is not my character, you know. And you know, he think this and this, you know. It's just a lot of people that come from the same area that I come from, and I made it, and they still in the same place. But the thing about it, the only reason I come home besides, you know, seeing my kids, and I bring expensive cars, I bring different things, buy houses and stuff, is the point of not to boast, not to brag, but to influence, to inspire, to motivate. And that's what type of person I am. You know, I like to motivate, especially my people. I love my people. I love all people, but especially my people, and especially coming from the West Side, you know, a town. This is just motivation to you, just let you know that you can do it. You ain't got to worry about that. You come from this small area, and I'm bringing something down that you probably ain't never seen before, especially when I brought I brought a rose down there, you know what I'm saying? Somebody thought it was a Cadillac. I'm like, nah, you know. So it's crazy, and that's the only thing I do. But they look at it as something else, you know what I mean? People just get jealous of what they can't have right now, and nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. They want it, but they don't want to work for it. I work my ass off to get
Are your kids like celebrities in school?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they, you know. It's up and down with them. They don't really, my kids just like, they something special, man. They very intelligent, they're well-mannered, they love people as well too. They don't take a lot of things to head, you know. They love interacting with people, love being around others, and they just go up, they kind-hearted, they like to, even when like holidays come around, man, they don't ask me for nothing really. They got one specific thing that they may want or may saw, and like, Daddy, I want this or whatever, because I teach them, like my father taught us, that we must work for what we want. You know, I'll never spoil my children. You know, I'll provide them with things, but only to a certain extent, because where I came from and how I had to get it, nobody gave me nothing. I had to work for everything. Even now, like, in boxing, it took me a while to just get to just this spot, you know what I mean? Because I would get opportunities, but there'd be small opportunities, and I still had to chip it away to open up an opportunity and make it in there. But it seemed like it's only me. Like, as far as the division going and then being the champ, like I always had to go through, just like we talking about the Joshua fight. They want me to do all these different things, but I'm like, what have anybody else done to get the opportunity? They talking about coming to America fighting like Gerald Miller, you know who that is? There you go. So why would you come to America and fight a nobody when you got the king right here that's been calling you out, that's been saying he'll knock you out, and can't wait to knock you out? It's gonna be a pleasure. I don't have nothing against Joshua. I told him, see, when we fight, we gonna party after.
Unless you kill him. Unless that's the first body.
Unless it be the first body, that's the only way. He was absent that day because you know what happened.
Hey, Deontay Wilder, man. Hey, good to see you, my brother. Thank you for coming, man. Absolutely. Y'all watch the fight this Saturday, March 31st, live on Showtime, 5 p.m. Eastern. Anthony Joshua Parker. One of them people gonna be Wilder's next opponent.
Yeah, most definitely. No doubt.
All right, Deontay Wilder, y'all. It's the Breakfast Club.
It's not about you. I am. Now look, they're talking about walking me out already. They're talking about kicking me out of my brother's funeral. They're talking about taking the mic. She's talking about taking the mic. I don't know who she is. She didn't know my brother. They're all in here for money, really. If y'all want to keep it real. The Christians have never looked out for us. Nobody has ever cared about black people but me.
You don't tell people in pain how to handle their pain. One of us. So let them express and grieve themselves We are not ashamed of them. We are proud of them for standing up for justice.
The Reverend Al Sharpton blasting the response from the White House that the deadly police shootings across the country were local matters. So let's start there. Angela Rye is with me, CNN political commentator and former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. Ken Cuccinelli is with us, CNN legal and political commentator. And Ken, let me just begin with you. You know, off of what we heard from the White House yesterday, this is a local matter, it should be handled by local authorities. Listen, we know that this is a national issue, but if you can put the legal issues aside, you know, isn't it a moral issue? I mean, don't you risk an answer, like we heard from Sarah Sanders at the briefing yesterday, that sounds dismissive?
There's no question that while technically true, that overwhelmingly the management, even in these situations that are tragic with someone shot and killed, of police departments and sheriff's departments is local and state. The federal government has a role. They have a civil rights role for one, and they have a potential role of sort of putting together best practices and trying to move them around the country. But to sound that dismissive from the podium wasn't smart, it wasn't wise, and it wasn't very compassionate, of course. But as a practical matter, the responsibility for dealing with police departments and any bad actions by police is overwhelmingly local and state.
Angela, how do you see it?
Well, I see that Barack Obama and his administration had a far more effective response to decades and centuries police violence. Barack Obama in December 2014 issued Executive Order 13684, which was a task force, setting up a task force on 21st century policing, their last report coming out in the middle of 2015, where they went into the field to talk to local communities who had been impacted locally by people dying who looked just like them locally. But there was a federal response. There was a Department of Justice, not a Department of Injustice, that looked into every single one of these brutal deaths that were suffered at the hands of police violence. So when Donald Trump's administration says that it's a local issue, I would just read back some names. There in Illinois, we had Laquan McDonald and Rekia Boyd. In Texas, we had Sandra Bland. In Ohio, we had 12-year-old Tamir Rice and John Crawford. In New York, we had Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Akai Gurley, Amadou Diallo. In Michigan, we had 7-year-old Ayanna Jones. In Maryland, we had Freddie Gray. In North Carolina, we had Jonathan Farrell. In South Carolina, we had Walter Scott. In California, we had Ezell Ford and most recently Stephon Clark. In my home state of Washington, Charlena Lyles, and that is just a sampling of how this is not a local issue. It is a national disaster. It is a national problem. It's reminiscent of everything that black and brown people have experienced with law enforcement since the beginning of their establishment. It is a national problem.
So given the list and agreeing it is a national issue, why, when we look, Ken, at what the president chooses to wade into issues, right? He weighs in on the national anthem and taking a knee. Why not take a stand on black and brown people in this country being killed by police?
Well, first of all, the question to Sarah Sanders was about the Sacramento shooting of Stephon Clark. There were two police officers involved. One was white, one was black. Yeah, that's right, and that's true. And one was white, one was black. You mentioned Baltimore and Freddie Gray. The police officers were black and white. I mean, they were responding to what they perceived. Let me finish, please. They were responding to what they perceived as the threat, not responding to the race of the victim.
Can I respond to this, Brooke, just momentarily? Not one time in my list, not one time in my comments about Barack Obama establishing an executive order and a task force to look into police violence have I brought up the race of officers. Here's the challenge that we have with systemic oppression and systemic racism. It doesn't matter who the immediate actor is. It's about how they are trained to perceive black people. That is the problem. So when your initial framework for establishing law enforcement and their engagement with people of color in this country is to hunt down and return to their masters runaway slaves, that is the paradigm. You see black people as inherently violent and criminal in all of your actions going forward centuries later. That paradigm has yet to shift, and it is incumbent upon responsible citizens in this country. We would hope that that would start with the commander-in-chief in saying, we know that there is a problem in the ways in which law enforcement interacts with certain people. There are those who we are there to protect and serve, and there are those who we are prepared to shoot and to kill. That is a problem with the framework, and it has to change.
Quick response, Ken.
Yeah, that's just not right.
It's accurate.
That assumes a way. It's totally illogical. It says it doesn't matter that one of the shooting officers was black. It's still a racist incident against black people in general, and that just defies logic.
Have you looked at the data?
And we
it doesn't defy logic. Racism actually defies logic. So then you should see that disproportionately black people are killed by the police.
I haven't interrupted you yet. Can I please finish?
I've interrupted you twice to correct you.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And you were wrong. So the Washington Post set up a database that, okay, that's 4 interruptions. The Washington Post set up a database to track police shootings in the last couple of years. And one of the things they have found is that the overwhelming proportion of people shot by police are white, not surprisingly. But about 26% have been black. And about,
which is disproportionate.
75%. So it is disproportionate to the population, double.
That's
but
right.
It's lower than the proportion of arrests. And I would also note that this year, 2018, so far there have been 18 police officers shot and killed. It's not a big data pool, but so far 9 of those 16 were shot by black offenders.
Okay, so again, it's the interactions with the criminal justice system. Have you also looked into the numbers of people who have been shot and killed by police? You brought up the 18 officers. What about the thousands of people who've been shot and killed by the police this year? We are disproportionately black. We are disproportionately brown. I know, but it's really important how we frame our data. We have a responsibility in the news to report things accurately and to be fair. So what I'm telling you about systemic racism, whether your mind rejects it or not, is that it doesn't matter who the actor is. Systemic. So now we're talking over each other, and so you may not count it as an interruption, but I do. The fact of the matter is, as defensive as we might be, as in our feelings as we might be, these are the facts, and they hurt, and they have to be challenged from the foundation of this country. Ken, it's a problem, and I would urge you, given your legal background, given all that you've seen as a former elected official, to use your platform responsibly and to tell the whole truth. Systemic racism in this country is a problem.
Okay.
So let's just take Sacramento. Okay. In Sacramento, we're seeing an evolution of how these events are analyzed. They had body cameras. We're going to have a lot more information when the investigation is complete to make policy decisions, because it is an important issue. I agree with you about that. We should never stop trying to make this better, but there's no one else in this society we ask to strap on a gun every day and put their lives on the line to protect the rest of us other than law enforcement.
But they don't protect us all.
Ken and Angela, thank you both for the discussion. I just wanted to sit back and listen to both of you. Appreciate it.
All right. We back. See, I understand. Like I told y'all before, merry go round and round. You know? I mean, you gotta understand, niggas need jobs, you know what I'm saying? Niggas need to work, niggas need something to do, niggas have to have a purpose, you know what I'm saying? They have a purpose. It's a merry-go-round, you know? But, I don't know. Can't really call it. All I can say is propaganda is involved, you know what I'm saying? Misleading information. Get you away from the prize. You know? Let's get you away from the prize. You know? I don't know what their problem is. I don't know what their issue is. I don't know what the fuss is. I mean, it's cocaine.